All right, what's going on, everybody? It's Ethan here, and today I'm back in the desert doing a beautiful hike here in Red Rock Canyon in Las Vegas, Nevada. So you can see right up there, that is the end destination today. Turtlehead Peak. A pretty short hike, but not an easy one. Turtlehead, the hike up to Turtlehead Peak is 2.5 miles one way, so 5 miles round trip, so not too long, but it goes up 2,000 feet, so very steep hike. You do most of that elevation gain in a fairly short period of time. And as you can see, there's a trail split right here to go straight to the Calico Tanks Trail, or to the left for Turtlehead Peak, which is where I'm going today. Both are popular hikes. It is a Saturday, about 11 a.m. Got a late start, so there's definitely a lot of people out here, which is to be expected. But I'm not going to let that stop me from enjoying this awesome hike. So I'll get back to you guys a little later down the trail. So back there where you dip into the wash, a lot of people are going the wrong way. There's some rock climbing up there, but you could tell that like 90% of the people who went that way were just hikers, and they didn't really know how to follow the trail too well. So those are the Calico Hills right there. Very beautiful. I did that hike last year, Calico Tanks Trail. Trying to go a little more extreme with it this time. And yeah, this it's a beautiful day today. It's like about 68 right now. It's supposed to go up into the mid 70s here and low 80s in Vegas. And there's lots of wildflowers out too, which is really cool. It's springtime, so that's where you can come out to places like Red Rock Canyon or Moab or down near Phoenix and see all of the cool wildflowers blooming in the desert. The desert wildflower season doesn't last long, but honestly it's at about peak right now. I mean, these little purple ones are everywhere, which is a pretty cool thing to see. So thus far the trail hasn't been very difficult, and that just means it's going to be steeper when the time comes, because one way or another I have to go up 2,000 vertical feet. So all right, so I'm coming up on the base of Turtlehead Peak now, which means that the easy part of this hike is just about over and it's about to get real. We just got to climb pretty much up through there, I believe, and then up that way to the summit. It's gonna be intense. And I'll tell you, man, this desert heat is getting to me. It's not even that hot. It's probably like 70 degrees right now, but it just, you know, you definitely feel it a lot more when you're in the desert. It's a very harsh environment, so it's key to bring enough water, bring some snacks, make sure you keep yourself hydrated and energized to get you through the whole hike. All right, so I've been going steadily uphill for a little while now, and I'm right at the base of Turtlehead Peak here, so you can see it's about to get much steeper up ahead there pretty soon here. So, but it's really cool just looking at all these wildflowers, seeing all these red ones now as well. which is really cool. Lots of reds, lots of purples. It's beautiful out here. And I have, gone up a little bit from where the trailhead was. Trailhead's down that way out of view. But it's a beautiful park. And I'll tell you something else. There are hardly any people on the trail right now. I'm behind these two that are a little ways in front of me up there. But it's pretty quiet out here now. Much more quiet than you'd expect, considering that I had to circle around the parking lot for like 10 minutes before I could get a spot. And there were a ton of people at the start of the trail, but it looks like most of them went to do calico tanks or didn't want to go very far up this trail or whatever. But either way, I'm okay with it. Okay, well, I've definitely gotten onto the steeper part of the hike now. As you can see, it's a pretty steep incline coming up through here. There's the trailhead all the way down there. I've done a little over 1,000 feet of gain thus far, but the views are spectacular. Getting great views of the La Madre Mountains right over there. And I'm not sure, but I think those might be the Spring Mountains back there. I'll have a better vantage point of everything when I get further up, but it's beautiful. You get a really nice view down into Red Rock Canyon, and you can see part of the scenic loop drive, all the different parking areas and trailheads and stuff. And it's just so busy and crowded down there, and then up here there's hardly anybody. It's really cool. But I can understand why not a lot of people are on this trail right now, because it is tough for sure. It's very steep. There's lots of loose rock as well, which kind of adds another little challenge to it. But I'm making my way up slowly but surely. And there's the peak right up there. Well, the hike has gone from an extremely steep grade to a moderately steep grade. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is definitely quite the hike. It's beautiful though. The views have really been great on the whole trail. Even down at the bottom, you still get some really nice scenery. And I know at the top, you get an excellent view of like the entire city of Vegas. So I'm definitely excited about seeing that. But I am getting close to getting up to this little saddle ridge, whatever you want to call it, up here. And it's definitely still going to be uphill and pretty steep, but I don't think it's going to be as steep as it was down there. So I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that this section here that I just came up was the steepest section of the trail. It doesn't look too far away now. Wow, Well, this just made all that climbing worth it. Beautiful views up here. Really spectacular. All right, well, there's the summit right up there. I'm getting there. Getting into the home stretch here. According to my altimeter, I've got about 500 feet of gain left to get to the summit. The summit is at 6,323 feet. At least that's what I read online. But yeah, wow, this is beautiful. There's a first view of Vegas down there. I don't think, doesn't look like you can see the strip from this vantage point, but I'm sure I'll definitely get a great view of that further up. It's just kind of being blocked by this hill right now. Well, there's that view of Vegas I've been hoping for. Getting a great view of the whole city, the strip, downtown. Really cool. And I'm getting close. I'm climbing up the backside of Turtlehead Peak right now. This is what it looks like from the other side. And there are definitely a few different choices for trails you can pick. I ended up going towards the left. I don't know if that was the path of least resistance or not. But either way, I know that they all go to the same place. But yeah, this is beautiful. It's just so peaceful and quiet up here. Not very many people at all. And now that I'm getting that great view of Vegas, I'd say all the hard work to get up here is definitely worth it. All right, guys, I made it. The summit of Turtlehead Peak in Red Rock Canyon. 6,323 feet. Beautiful. There's the Calico Hills down there. That's out over there is where the Calico Tanks Trail ends. It's a much easier way to get the view of Vegas, but the views are definitely not even a tenth as good from down there as they are up here. This is incredible. The La Madre Mountains, Red Rock Canyon down there. I really, it's hard to tell. I think that might be the Spring Mountains. I'd have to look on a map. I mean, that seems right because they're totally covered in snow. This is really beautiful though, guys. And I got the summit to myself. I can hear some people coming up. They're blasting music, which isn't ideal, but whatever. Can't always be perfect, right? But at the moment, I got the place to myself. And this is spectacular. There's Vegas down there. Beautiful view of Vegas, the strip, downtown, everything. It's incredible. Wow. Okay, guys, well, that was quite an intense hike. It's really that one section that's like the steepest, but pretty much the whole trail, it's all, I mean, other than the very start of it, the whole trail is uphill. It's steep, it's rocky, there's lots of loose rock. There's even a couple sections where there's some light scrambling, and so it is tough. It's not an easy hike. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but if you can handle it, definitely come up here if you're in Vegas. This is well worth the effort to get up here. This is definitely the best view I've ever had on a Vegas hike. So I'm gonna just soak in these views up here on the summit, enjoy it. It's time for a snack. I've definitely earned it. And then I will start heading back down. All right, I'm heading back down. Still soaking in those views of Vegas. Really cool perspective from up here. A view of Vegas that most people never see, as I almost slip on a rock. But yeah, this is so cool. I really wanted to do this hike ever since the first time I came out here last year, but I just didn't have the time or energy the last time I was here. But I'm definitely glad I got to do it today. All right, I'm down off the peak. There it is up there, hiking along this saddle, this little ridge here. And I'm about to get back to the really steep part, back down that gully. And that's definitely an area that I already know I'm gonna need to be extra careful because of all the loose rock. Very easy to lose your footing when you're down climbing something that steep and it's all loose rock, which the vast majority of this trail is. But yeah, I'm quickly making my way down. All right, so I'm making my way down. This is one of the really steep sections I was talking about. I mean, you can see there's even a little light scrambling right there, and it's a very steep trail. This section coming up the gully is very steep, and like I said earlier, you really want to be careful of all that loose rock. It'll get you. But anyway, there's Turtlehead Peak all the way up there. I've come a good ways down. It's been a lot faster coming down than going up. It took me about an hour to get to the top, maybe just over an hour. And I think I've been hiking down for maybe like 15 minutes, not even that. And I'm already like, I guess halfway down. So yeah, the park does recommend that you give it 3.5 to 4.5 hours to do this hike, but I think it's probably all said and done with the extended break I took at the summit, probably going to take me about a little over 2 hours round trip. But man, what beautiful views still the whole way. Nothing but great views. All right, guys, well, I made it back down to the base of the peak. There it is up there, way up there. And from here on out, it's just going to be some gradual downhill and then flat back to the trailhead. But man, that was such an awesome hike. Really enjoyed this one. All right, I'm starting to get back into the Calico Hills area. Lots of beautiful rock formations down here to look at. And I'm definitely done with all the hard parts of the hike. It's just going to be a little bit further back to the trailhead. And I'm assuming that once I get a little further down here and this trail rejoins with the Calico Tanks Trail, that I will be met with a large crowd of people. But man, it was a really pleasant surprise how few people there were on the Turtlehead Peak Trail. That was a really pleasant surprise because based on how things looked at the trailhead, I honestly expected there to be not like a crazy amount of people, but I did expect like a steady flow of people for most of this hike. And I definitely never in my wildest dreams pictured that at like noon on a Saturday, on a day where it's this nice, that I'd have the summit of Turtlehead Peak to myself. That was really cool. All right, guys, well, I'm rejoining with the Calico Tanks Trail right up there. And there is the trailhead right there, which means that this hike is coming to an end. There's one last view of the beautiful Turtlehead Peak that I just climbed. An intense but awesome hike. And honestly, it wasn't as bad as I expected. I thought it was gonna be more challenging, and don't get me wrong, it still was a challenge. It was definitely a tough hike, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I really had a fun time, and I'm definitely glad I picked that trail. But yeah, that was really awesome. And of course, now that I'm rejoining with Calico Tanks, there are a lot more people down here. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. If you like this, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, check out some of my other videos as well. I have a lot of content, and I will keep posting more, so stay tuned. And I will see you guys on the next one.